2020 and 2021 has been quite challenging if you're into shooting, sports shooting, hunting, self-defense, personal shooting, whatever kind of shooting. There's been a global ammo shortage, component shortage. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the top 5 tips, okay, plus a bonus tip to avoid getting caught with your pants down should this happen again. So without further ado, let's get into it. Right, tip number 1 is going to be the most obvious one of the lot, and that's going to be to buy up front. Buy when things are available, whether you're into reloading, just buying store-bought ammo, you know, factory ammo, so we'll refer to factory ammo for the rest of the video. So whatever kind of shooting you're into, you know, when times are good, buy up front. I myself like to track all the shooting I do, okay, so I know exactly how much shooting I'm doing, annually, quarterly, whatever, so I make sure that I have enough components available. Now, very importantly at this time, I need to make the distinction. You need to check with your state, your government, whatever place you stay in, what sort of the legislation is like, how much you can have of what. Now in South Africa, if you've got a sports shooting license, you can actually have quite a bit more loaded ammo. We're still governed by the Explosive Act with the amount of gunpowder and stuff like that we can have. But yeah, having said that, if you live in a freer place like America, they're trying to take that away from you, don't let them. You know, buy when times are good. That's what I would suggest as my number 1 tip. Okay, tip number 2 is going to be the most beneficial. If you're shooting a lot, or you want to make sure that you can always have the ability to shoot, is learn to reload. You know, making your own freedom seats. Now that's gonna, never mind all the accuracy, the precision, all those benefits you're gonna get customizing loads if you're shooting long range rifles like I do. Never mind that, it's going to bring the cost down too, especially if you guys take into account the crazy ammo prices we're seeing at the moment. So learning to reload is, however, an intimidating experience. You know, if you've never done it before, it can be very dangerous. So you want to make sure you follow the right process. Now the good news is I've got a reloading course where you can get 25% off by using the code RECOVER, and that's going to go a hell of a long way to helping me delve into the medical expenses that we did undergo with this hand. So my course takes you through the entire process of creating handcrafted precision ammo for a rifle system like you guys see behind me. Now this is actually just a standard Remington 700 dropped into an MDT ACC chassis. Now MDT are our channel sponsor, and they make it possible for us to create videos like this. So if you've got an old bolt action lying around, or a new bolt action for that matter, and you're a new gun owner, head on over to mdttac.com. Chances are they're gonna have a chassis system for your inlet, so you won't regret it. I certainly didn't when I ordered my first one. Make sure you check them out, mdttac.com. So now that you're aware of MDT, that brings us sort of to our next point and roll them in. And this is something that I'm sort of guilty of, you know. Because of all the negativity that we're always bombarded with in the news, I try and not watch the news. Now, you still need to be aware of what's going on in the world around you. Okay, so making sure you're checking news feeds and seeing something like our current pandemic creeping up on us. You gotta know, listen, this is gonna be a problem for us down the line. So in my case, you know, I'm all the way over in South Africa. I know, and by the way, the South African guys might think, you know, Pete, you're always talking about the freaking Americans. I can obviously see the analytics of our channel, and the majority of our views comes from America and Canada. So, you know, for us here in South Africa, I could see the guys in America are running out of primers, they're running out of components. So that's kind of our tip number 3, is be aware of your surroundings. If you see something like this coming, you know, with regards to the coronavirus, we had quite a heads up that something was going to go wrong here. I think most of us, you know, weren't quite ready for how bad it was going to get. You guys have to factor in, like a big company like Hornady or something like that. If you're buying factory ammo, they can't just scale up production like this. It's a nightmare. You got to get raw materials. There's production. It's a nightmare. Never mind the fact that half their people probably couldn't go to work. It's been difficult. So be aware of what's going on in the world so that you don't get caught with your pants down. The next one was actually suggested to me by one of our members from our POI, the People of Impact, which is a group that helps support the channel also. It's a really cool little community we've got going, and they suggested the buddy system. Now that's something I actually didn't think of off the bat. You know, if you get together with some buddies, you can swap out components if you guys are all reloading. If this guy's got a lot of primers but that guy's got a lot of powder, you can make deals and stuff between each other to make sure that you can still produce ammo in times like this. The other thing where the buddy system really comes into play, and that's sort of also point number 4, is to get together with some buddies and do group buys, okay, when the times are good. Buy 5,000 primers or 50,000 primers between the lot of you and split the cost, so you'll be able to get that cost per primer down. I'm using primers as an example, but if you're 10 buddies to buy 50,000 primers, it's doable, you know. So group buy is a really good way of getting costs down and also sort of stockpiling. I don't want to be the typical guy that says stockpile ammo, because that's not really what we're trying to do here. We're trying to just build awareness of what you could do to not end up in a situation where you've got really cool rifles and you're into the sport and everything, but you can't shoot your rifles because you don't have any freedom seats. And that brings us to tip number 5, which is shooting 22 long rifle. Now 22 long rifle or 22 rimfire is something that we probably all did as a kid, and if you're a new gun owner and you don't have a 22, man, I highly suggest that. It's probably the most fun you can have, and the value for money there, shooting a really inexpensive round that's a factory load. They are readily available, they're really cheap, and you can just go out there and shoot a lot. So for us precision rifle guys, in times like this where components and things get really expensive, I tend to do a little bit more rimfire just so that I don't delve into sort of my precision rifle match ammo type of thing. So I spare these rifles effectively for when we're going out there shooting matches, so we'll do our training and stuff on the rimfire rifles. Bonus tip is going to be number 6. Be aware of scammers. Okay, so during this time, it's always the case where people, you know, they've bought stock like a year or 2 ago, and I understand from a retailer point of view that they need to replace that stock at new prices, but guys are going crazy with what they're charging. I saw prices in the US of $1 per round of 5.56. Now that's pretty expensive even by our standards. So make sure you're not getting scammed out. So if you're buying online for the first time from a company, maybe do a quick Google search, see if they're a reputable company. If it sounds too good to be true, usually is. So yeah, just do a little bit of your homework so you're not getting ripped a new one with regards to pricing, or even maybe it's just a complete scam that you're not going to get anything. So yeah guys, that's my tips for avoiding the next ammo crisis. If you can think of more tips, I'd love to see them in the comments down below. Let's help out our fellow shooters. Guys, I want to thank you very much for watching. Make sure you follow me over on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe, turn the notification bell on, and again, use the code RECOVER to save 25% off our reloading course. I will see you guys in the next video. And hopefully we'll be shooting in about 4 weeks from now. That's the goal, at least doing some dry fire, because I think the recoil might hamper our little rehab process here, but I'm excited. It's going to be a journey. So yeah, subscribe if you want to see that. I'm also working on some other cool projects during this time where I really can't shoot much. Thanks for watching once again. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.